Hi, I thought of giving you a short tour of what we're doing um, this week and probably the next coming up weeks to hopefully covering the material that we need before we go on the spring break and maybe leaving some of the stuff from the labs for reviewing purposes, including also the AB exams from previous years. Um, if you go to the modules at the top, I did not add any new AP exam. I presume it was maybe working on that. And because also I added material for the first of the labs that we're going to cover. The 11th lab is probably one of my favorite, and it's perfect for chapter 6 because chapter 6 talks about arrays and array lists. So this actually is kind of applying that. I'm going to be reducing the number of assignments that a chapter has because we're going to kind of apply a lot of those concepts right here in the labs. So as you can see, you have some due dates in the next couple of dates. You're going to be working on this. The material is not complicated at all. You have work already with that, right, Liz? So is pretty much you're going to be familiar with that. However, I like to spend more time than usual on the on something more formal. So as you can see here, I added this module, in which we talk a little bit about the array list API. And the reason why I had to do that is because we never really did a formal introduction to it. I remember in the Java class last year, we did a couple of class participation notes and everything, and we took from different sites, but we didn't do it formally. So here is the formal introduction. Pay attention to the specific functions, methods, I should say, that you need to pay attention in terms of knowing what they are and how to use them. You will have a reference sheet for the exam, but you still have to know how they're used and when you use them. And that's why I just limited pretty much what you need to know, because if you actually click on this one, this link over here, this one is the one that should take you to the Oracle site. And remember, this is something that you need to know where that is. And as you can see, this is going to go on for a long. This is kind of long, and there's a lot of other stuff here. So I'm really interested, and I agree with College Board that these are the methods that you're supposed to be aware of. The same thing with constructor. I also put another website that I like a lot. There's a couple of other ones that I'm going to put later, which is Tutorials Point. There's something about Java for Geeks, I think it is. I'm going to put them up there too, because sometimes you get to learn more from examples than from actually talking about these things. What's the assignment over here? I want an example of each of these methods. Let me change that to methods. That's because I've been working the whole day on Python material. Anyways, I wanted to write a short, like code snippet, right? The small that uses the method. And it could be from any of the websites that is available. A lot of the stuff you can work together in groups. Just make sure you don't have the same code. You might have the same ideas. But there's so much out there that I don't think there is a reason for anybody to have exactly the same code, even when you're collaborating. That means that if you have the same code, it's more than just collaborating, and I don't want you to do that. All right, so this is on in terms of the beginning of the labs. Here you're going to have the PDF, which is the 11th lab student guide, which is going to be resources for these exercises coming up over here. There is a discussion. And then you're also going to get the source, the started code, as they call it. So you're given over here some information that's already written in the class, and then it will be blank areas in which you have to fill it in. Actually, it's very similar to what the AB exam looks like. You will have to fill in the blanks in some of those classes that you will be presented, or the driver. And so this is actually a great way that they presented it. I think this is probably one of the best labs to me. Although the Magpie, which has a lot of potential, they didn't really develop much. But if you were going to use it for the final project, you can turn the Magpie into a very good project, because it's kind of a very super simplistic AI. I don't even call it AI because there is not that much of an AI, but it's using just strings to communicate and pick up some words in there. So the bot's supposed to respond. And there are some sites in which you have a bot that can talk a little bit, and it's very limited, and it's only because it's using just specific words that gives them an idea of what to respond. But sometimes it becomes a little bit too bizarre. So if you were really interested in that, I create a database of words related to a theme, and then you concentrate your discussion to the theme, you can end up with something cool. So those two are pretty good. The other one that I like a lot is the picture lab, in which you work a lot with pixels, and everything is in two-dimensional arrays. And we're going to use that one too, because College Board loves to give AP questions that are related to two-dimensional arrays. And that takes me to, if you scroll down to what you can see, because not everything that you're going to see on my screen is published, is the actual chapter 6. And here it is. Chapter 6 is about arrays and array list. So what you're going to see over here is assignments that are very much on arrays. They're very simple. They're not complicated at all. They should be a breeze for you. This could be a multiple choice question in which the output, you will have to identify the output. And so I think it is time to look at some of those review exams and the review material that College Board offers you for in preparation for the AP exam. What is it that we have to cover that we haven't yet? Well, if you, let's see if I put it over here. Hold on a minute. I meant to do it, but now I'm questioning if I did it. I don't think I did it. Where did I put it? I meant to put it. No, it's supposed to be right here. Let's put it right here. So you have an idea of what you're going to see on this chapter. There's some things that can be done with arrays and array lists. So content. And it's just an image that I got from the book. So, and it's kind of a very limited very simplified type of what do you call it? Itemize contents. It's just that sometimes images are better than just, well, where is it? There it is. I think that's close. Oh, wait, these images always get coming here so big. Okay, there we go. So after this chapter, we have inheritance and recursion. I really would like to do that before we go in the spring break, even if we don't really spend a lot of time on it, but we have some material that we did. So when we come back and we start doing reviewing, we do a little bit more of that and you don't feel like it's new. Recursion is something that is just a concept and maybe it's one lesson, but then it's kind of very individual for each of the assignments that you do. Inheritance, you might have a lot of questions in terms of designing, because if you remember what we just did in chapter 5 about designing of classes, then you realize that inheritance has a lot to do with how classes are designed. And I think that we are almost done with everything. There are some things that I will go back to touch up because just I keep on seeing them in your work and in your assignments. And I really would like to kind of make you aware of that and clarify it. Besides that, I think, oh, one more thing, yes. When you go to these two exercises, which they're very simple, I did attach a website from my a page from a website that talks a little bit more about arrays, and I gave you some basic array programs that we might have seen last year when we did Java, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure if that is correct. Oh yeah, some of it might be. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to these programs. Here's another one that is actually very useful. Some of the things might show up many different ways, by the way. Doesn't have an open, doesn't have to be like a full response. It could be a component in a multiple choice question in which it shows up in in a very different format. And the other one is the reverse order. One that is very popular is the letter count. I think these are all source code from the book. Yeah, look. I might have make some changes or put something else, but I'm not 100% sure. So the textbook has a lot of stuff that you're probably going to ignore, and I'm probably going to ignore too, because I mean, certainly has a lot of material, but I will definitely make you aware of some things that you should be aware of. In terms of input, unless you are specified what format, you can use terminal, you can use a scanner, standard in, whatever your preference is. And just remember, unless it says a specific way of input, then whatever you want, right? Reading, I always encourage to read the pages, and I would suggest that if you don't like to read too much, do some browsing, and then you might be able to detect things that you want to look. Unfortunately, the PDF that I have the version, the actual book that we own, is kind of a very it's black and white. However, I did give you the link somewhere of the PDF that is in colors. So if you are one of those persons who like to read with colors in there, we did have the link somewhere. Where was it? You guys remember? I am pretty sure that it is in a place called resources. Oh, maybe this is it. Yeah, the last one. Yeah. This one is in color. The other one is in black and white because when I first get the book, this book doesn't have PDF. Takes forever to load because it's pretty old. And you will see that a lot of the material here is kind of old. Oh my God, this is kind of slow. Slower than molasses. Okay, I don't have to download it because I already have it. So the best is to actually look for it on online. That's actually where I got it from, the internet. And wait, because I don't want you to think that I'm lying. I do have it. Bear with me. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about because I am sure that you guys are tired of listening to me talking. Okay, it's right here. It's right here. There we go. So I think the best is just to have it in your computer. Download it somewhere or on your drive. I actually have put this in my drive too, so I can get it from anywhere. So this is more colorful. My pages sometimes add this screenshots, small pieces from here because I do like colors. And here you could see, there it is, some of those programs that I put on that page. So I selected, like I have always done, I do select things from the book because some of the stuff is, abundant. This is a very talky type of book. All AP books are very talky. It's not like the ones that is just about syntax and assignments. Anyways, okay, so I think I gave you ideas and you know more or less what's happening in terms of, this is still low, in terms of actually the stuff that you have to do. I really would like to put more stuff up there, not to, oh, no, it just loaded, not to stress you out, but just to give you an idea of what's coming ahead of you. Just look at deadlines. And so you'll see that probably you're going to have 1 or 2 assignments per day. And none of them will be very big. When they're big, it won't be like every day. It will be just more time. Do we have any projects on? Well, so we don't have. I used to have projects on this chapter when College Board came up with the 11th lab and the Magpie. Then that's pretty much the project that we're going to have over here, and these will break up into many parts. So it's also it's logic. There's logic involved in terms of it's a game, and if you click on one of these things, where did I put it? Oh. Anyway, I think I'm talking too much already. I am. So here, gee, I just did only a few hours ago. Where's the resources? Anyways, it's not this one, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Here it is. And so here's the game. And by the end, by the middle, of the end, middle of the assignments of the chapters or the units, as they call it, there is a GUI, and which you actually can play with it. It's okay. It's not like super exciting, but it's fun. It's better than a lot of assignments that they're just disconnected. All right, so I'll let you go. I hope this gives you an idea and answered a lot of the questions that usually students ask me. What are we doing today? What comes next? When are we gonna do this? When are we gonna do that? Okay, see you.